Alright, so this is a rematch because GoOdy and Namshar fought each other before in the winner bracket, and that was a 2-1 victory versus for GoOdy. So GoOdy actually kicked Namshar to the loser bracket, and now Namshar made it all the way back through the loser bracket, back to the grand finals, facing GoOdy again. Alright.
So yeah, funny research station. Oh, it already promises a lot. Very strong defensive map. Because all your bases are somewhat close together. So yeah. GoOdy, of course, already 1-0 up as he's coming from the winners bracket. So yeah, spawning here in the top right, playing for Team ESC in purple. It's gonna be the Panzer General himself. It's gonna be GoOdy. And spawning here in the bottom position, playing for Carnage Esports, the nicest guy in the world. It's gonna be the Red Cirque, Namshar.
Right, guys, I'm gonna have to talk quietly from now on because my girlfriend's trying to sleep in the room next to it. It's next to my room, so
Oh,
I'll sit close to the microphone.
oh yeah, we can do that.
All right.
It becomes a really creepy cast. I hope everyone that's still tuned in. Thanks for sticking around. We know it's late, but I don't know. We're kind of happy the way it went tonight. I think we only had a few players, but we had a lot of good matches. So definitely hyped about that. I guess the main question is GoOdy already going up to 13 supply here. So it doesn't look like he's going to follow this up directly with a gas and go towards that Reaper. Might follow this up with a 15 gas and then just get a normal orbital command behind it. Namshar, of course, opening up with the hedge first here on the other side of the map. Just playing standard. It's not greedy, it's just the norm right now. Oh, GoOdy is still staying gasless. He's just gonna follow this up straight with I think a 17 or 16 command center. I guess now he's definitely gonna take it in base. Yeah, there we go. The CC is being rallied there. I was wondering, like, maybe there's something to be done with the low ground here, but then again, it's so open that it would be very hard to defend both that and your ramp. Sending out an SUV scout here, just gonna like see what is he up against. Is he up against gas? Is he up against gasless? Gasless kind of implies the circ doesn't open up with a fast gas, but does get gas eventually. Usually implies roach plays, since you don't get any early circling speed, so you can go straight towards roaches. But it is in somewhat early gas, so this is probably just going to be for link speed here. So yeah, that's what GoOdy was looking for. He sees the pull timing as well, so he knows, okay, this is hedge first. And that's all the info we needed, so he just backs off again. GoOdy's still gasless. Are we going to see a third CC here? This is, yep, we are. This is almost the greediest build you can do. Like, the only thing that's like, well, like viable and greedier than this is orbital or CC first, then go barracks, and then straight into CC first again. But this is about as economical as openers get. He literally has one Marine out, and he's building his 4th base at 4 minutes into the game. And is Namshar gonna retaliate with a 5-minute base of his own? That's super greedy. Like, you can only do this against GoOdy, because normally, like, you would play against, let's say, or there would be a Reaper that would like poke at your drone if you were to send it out. You don't have speed yet to chase it away. Then Hellions would follow, and it would just become increasingly difficult. But Namshar identifying what GoOdy is doing here, and he's gonna go the eco route himself.
Well, he's identifying it with very little information.
Well, he has the Overlord in the bottom, so he saw the very fast orbital command.
No, he didn't.
I think. Did he not poke in?
He hasn't seen anything.
Then he's just blind countering GoOdy. It's like you can do this against GoOdy either way, unless like most mech players rely on gimmicks to get there, because they're not as strong positionally as GoOdy is. They open up like Blue Flame Hellion and just dive into your mineral lines and try to get as many drone kills as possible. Or they go for super aggressive like Cloak Banshee, Hellbat timings, or I wouldn't say it's gimmicky, but they need to make something happen in order to play normally within the mid game. But GoOdy isn't one of those players. So there we go. A second factory is already down. He might switch the barracks with the factory here, so he can get some Hellions out, just so he can deal with large swells of Lings. And we're gonna see Blue Flame here out of GoOdy. He's not producing anything. Like normally you could build add-ons with your barracks right now, and then you could swap it with like a factory later on, but we don't see anything of that sort, so it's not looking like a timing right now. Like, I guess the main interesting feature that this map has is that your bases are so close together, but the map is still very leveled and open. So even though like you can really easily take and defend bases, it's still very open, and it's a layered or like a flat playing field, and you could dart around. Like you can, if let's say you take a fourth base, you can go from the right side where there's no vision or no creep in general, or less creep than on the left side, because that's where all the pushes and attacks happen. And you can just like sneak into the main. So yeah, GoOdy is just making a few tanks here as well. GoOdy just has these builds thought out in a way that like he needs to scout almost nothing. The only thing like he does is being safe. Like GoOdy doesn't think like, oh well, I need to hit this timing, or I need to push here, or I need to like definitely do this and this. Like all he does, like, I need to be safe. I don't want to die to any aggressive attacks. So if you're a player out there that faces GoOdy and you don't know how to beat him, stop trying to like straight up attack into him. We know your pain of trying to play a long drawn out mech game, but the Hellion does get in here, might get an extra kill here, and 5 workers do go down there, but nothing Namshar can't recover from. He's been playing very greedy, probably gonna work towards a 4th base here pretty soon, get a mech reg, even more drones. He has all the money because of this very greedy opener, and GoOdy is looking to take his own 3rd base, just getting a bit of Overlord creep, or poop, whatever you want to call it, down on the 3rd base here, just delaying it by a bit. If you fully spread the creep out here from an Overlord, it takes a full minute for the creep to recede to make the orbital command landable. So even now, it's still probably going to delay it by, let's say, a second or 10 or 15. So that's nice. Oh, I love this. Did you see the gold base?
Mm-hmm.
The gold base on the right side here, we talked about this earlier in a PvT against GoOdy, because this map is so orientated like towards the left side where all the bases are, and that's where the pushes happens as well. You defend and protect the left side, but you never really flank to the right side as an immobile mech player, because as soon as you go to the right side, all your bases are exposed at the left side. So if you take your opponent's gold base like this, like, it's super important. You have an extra base, you have extra gas worth of income. It's super nice. In general, it's not going to get scouted either, because there's no drops being queued up on this way. And on top of that, like if a Terran player decides to establish this in the very late game and just drop like 15 mules on it, he will very rapidly mine it out. So you also limit your opponent's resources available. Very cute microing back the weakened mutas there, so they all survive. And now he's just gonna dive on some workers here, kill gas guys. Just like every gas guy he kills means the gas delayed for mech units is gonna be limited here for GoOdy. He's sending his torch towards the mutas now, so Namshar is gonna have to pay attention here, or he's gonna catch all the volleys. Yeah, there we go. Mutas getting deflected. Workers are able to get sent back here. More turrets being forced, and Namshar is already on 10 gas geysers right now. He's mining like more than 1k gas a minute, and he's even taking the gold on the left side here, which is probably going to put him up to like 1300 gas a minute. So that's really nice for him. So when you mine an amount of gas like that, you're going to be able to take trades. Like normally most trades you make, you still need like either your tech units remaining, or like a good chunk of army, because you can't replace it, because it took you so long to get there. But when you're on this much gas count, you could just take trades. But it looks like GoOdy is pushing out here on the left side here. This gold base is definitely gonna get taken down. He also brought a bunch of Widow Mines here with his army. This is definitely very peculiar. Somewhat low tank count, but Widow Mines actually do very well against Roach Hydra, because when Roach Hydra attacks, it kind of forces... it attacks in a line or in a concave. So all the units clump up and they kind of like just... They're super clumped, and oh my god, all the units are so close together. The Widow Mines do get forced back a bit, but if he burrows them on top of these units, so much splash damage is gonna be done here. Namshar is indeed maxed out, but he's kind of waiting for these 2 Vipers that he has in production here to blinding cloud his army. And he is so, like, Namshar is 90 workers right now almost, so his army supply is actually fairly small, but he's just gonna go for it. The Viper has spawned here, he's just gonna fly his Mutas over, so the splash damage hits the Torch and Hellbats, and now he's just gonna be able to completely roll this army here. Very well done by Namshar there. So this is like what we meant, like he has such a great economy at this point. Namshar just has so much money, like he's still on 5 bases right now. He lost a bit of eco on the left side by pulling his drones, but he has more than enough to replace it if he wants to. And GoOdy here is only just building his 4th base. He is setting up a defensive lineup, but there's a massive Roach Hydra counterattack coming out here. And what does he really have? His first tank just rolled out, and he's just gonna try to hold the high ground rather than the low ground here. So we're gonna see how much damage Namshar is gonna be able to do here. He does force the Hellbats to retreat here, and I guess he could just go for the base or potentially even for the worker line. That's definitely gonna limit, but at the same time, a few Hellions ran into the gold base in the bottom right. They killed a ton of workers. They're both these combined of at least 10 kills in the bottom right, and more workers falling. But also at the same time, the 3rd base of GoOdy has been killed and lifted off the morphing base. So yeah, Namshar still has plenty of bank. Like that's the thing, like he can take these trades. Like any trade is basically almost good for Namshar. Because the only thing he needs to do is resaturate, just get his 5 base eco going once again. And GoOdy is effectively down to 2 base eco at this point. So yeah, GoOdy once again setting up his defensive siege line here, spreading out his tank very well, so they can't get blinding clouded by the Vipers that are coming out here from Namshar. He needs at least multiple clouds if he wants to blinding cloud all these tanks, but he's gonna go for it. The Torch shoot, oh, he's just gonna abduct, very smart play. And all the Vipers have gone down, but the Roaches are just being split in the front here, taking all the siege tank fire. And there's actually only a few, he's building Vikings at this point, and there's only very few tanks remaining. So I think once he cleans up these tanks, he can just go for the 3rd base again. He's gonna go up the ramp, he might just go straight for the production here, and GG coming out. GoOdy can't take these trades, and Namshar evening out the score.
Exactly, evening it out. Sorry for letting you cast our solo, but like I said, I'm keeping my girlfriend awake, and she has work in the morning, so I'm gonna be quiet from now on, or as quiet as possible.
Wow. Should I do the production as well, or?
No, I can do production.
It's fine. It's like the worst case scenario is we need to do 1 more game, so I think we'll be fine.
All right, guys. Final qualifier. Final game. Hype.
I think you spoiled it.
Oh crap, yeah. I keep forgetting.
Oh. You have double monitors, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, but then again, if you're streaming while watching the game and have a stream open, it's gonna get hard.
Exactly. Someone made an account on Twitch called DSCL League.
Oh, DSL League, yeah. Yeah, I can tell. I'm normally one of those guys that just like makes troll accounts just to mess with people. I know. As long as it's all banter, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Echo.
Echo.
Echo. It's such a strong defensive map. Like all the bases you take are on the high ground, and they're like separated by a ramp, or like they're completely isolated. So I think if GoOdy, if GoOdy gets up the amount of bases that he wants to, this is definitely going to become pretty strong here.
Alright guys, final game coming up. This is odd.
No, it's fine. This is first time the loading is taking a bit. Oh, I'm getting network spikes. Are you?
Not that I can tell.
I don't know, maybe it was because I was tabbed out, or no, it's gone now. Okay. Like I was about to say, it shouldn't be me, but okay, there we go. We're loading.
Cool.
So yeah, let's introduce these players. Spawning here in the top left position, playing for Carnage Esport. It's gonna be the blue Zerg this time around. It's gonna be Namshar. And spawning here in the bottom right, the Panzer General himself, showcasing some very strong map play here. It's gonna be GoOdy. Toast? Well, like, I think he already toast on the first game. So, oh. This is cheeky. We already see a worker heading out here. Is he just gonna low ground depot? Yeah, he's gonna low ground depot. Just gonna get a very fast wall off here. I guess. I've also seen builds where you do this. You build a single Rex on the low ground here, and then you proxy a second Rex. And it's kind of a 2 Rex. But at any given point, you can just stop committing, and you just throw down the CC and wall off. And there's very little that can be done against it. But yeah, we do see the low ground barracks here. You could potentially, I guess, even snipe an Overlord that's heading this way, and just kind of autopiloting, because it's getting late at night. And if you just quickly look away from your Overlord and it gets sniped, like, it ruins your mindset. It's definitely not game ending. It's just really annoying. It's going to limit your production. But yes, there we go. We are going to see the 2 Rexes here coming down from GoOdy. GoOdy kind of headed, I guess, as well. Just going to showcase a very strong opener here. It's still somewhat defensive. It's not super all-in, but we're going to see how much damage this is going to do. There are no spots actually around the natural, besides the high ground spot that the Overlord is just about to pass, where the Overlord would be in safe range. Oh, is he just going to send it there? Oh, that's going to be marvelous. Oh, that's so great, because all the Marines are going to get rallied past his Overlord. So, okay, he scouts the SUV with his second Overlord. So if this SUV does not pop into the main in, let's say, the next 15 seconds, you know your opponent is hiding his SUV either in your natural, or he's building a bunker on the low ground, and then you just pull down a worker, if you're aware, at least, that he passed under the Overlord. But yeah, second worker coming across here, he's spamming his Overlord, so I think he should see it, and he sees the Marines coming across the map, and he's not yet pulling down any. He's actually saturating his gas, so either he wasn't paying full attention there, or he's just gonna try to break out on one base with Baneling Bust. But I think this is a 3 bunker wall off, and now he's fully walled in, so he's gonna have to breach these bunkers before he's gonna be able to break out here. And this is definitely very smart play by GoOdy. This used to be such a normal build to happen, because like almost all the bases you could just like 2 or 3 bunker contain the natural, or you could 2 bunker contain the ramp, and that's actually why they added these plates, these destructible plates, and the same applied for low ground 3 pylon blocks. So yeah, at this point Namshar is gonna try to hold this by bringing his spines down. Spines, of course, outranging bunkers by just a bit. If he places them here, where he does right now, they are going to be in range of the Marines. So you might put them back a square. Oh, they're kind of blocking each other. But yeah, look at this. Now they're going down and he's forced. But his hedge is getting dangerously low as well. And this is the worst part. Like, this hedge was almost guaranteed to go down when he didn't pull down a worker to delay the bunker here. And now his spines are getting weak as well. But at least he's getting a creep tumor behind the mineral line. So there's still going to be creep support for these spine crawlers and they don't die out. So he's going to be able to clean this up. And he is getting a baling nest behind us. He still has 3 workers on gas and he's already producing circlings. So he's just going to try to get as many circlings out as possible here. And just surround these Marines that are out on the map and potentially bane bust the front here. But as we saw, GoOdy actually put his barracks in the wall. So busting through barracks requires quite a bit of banelings. And off a single gas, affording enough banelings to actually afford that just means, like, if at all you come through, the Marines are gonna like shoot away the entire time for free. And secondary, like, you just don't have any banelings remaining to splash the Marines. So you should always go for the depots here. And we're gonna see he has a few links here. He's gonna try to surround these Marines, but it's actually a good amount and the reinforcements are there as well. He does get a surround off and he's gonna try to kill them all, but there's just too many Marines remaining here. And Namshar behind us did not retake his natural. He loses another Overlord. It does not supply block him this time around, but he is gonna try to macro out at this point, but he's just taking his natural. And his opponent already has a done natural with 6 workers on it. So this is definitely going to be very hard here. Just some link streaming across the map. GoOdy kind of is. Okay, GoOdy is definitely transitioning out here. There's 2 things that can happen at this point. The Terran player just pulls his SCVs and just goes for another attack with like 20, 25-ish Marines. And it's very, very strong if you don't have banelings to deal with it. But GoOdy just popping down the double factory, a 3rd GC behind this. He knows how far ahead he is. He can just play this out. And it's going to be completely up to Namshar to crawl back into this game. He's only at 19 workers right now. So even though he's getting this 3rd base, he won't even have like any drones to even saturate his natural right now. GoOdy already mining away a happy 1.1k. Contrary to the 700 and mineral of Namshar here. And I really fear for Namshar here. I guess he has a... If he kills the rocks or the cooling tower here on the left side at the 3rd base, combined with the spines, Namshar is going to have a pretty decent defensive setup, so he can drone very hard without producing any units at this point. So once his queens are out, and his injects start flowing, he's going to be able to afford quite a few drones at once, of course. He's actually going to go the tech route here, which is kind of confusing me, but then again, macroing from behind is really hard as well. So he's just going to work up towards Lair here, potentially get a Roach Warren here. He already has Baning Nest, so he might, I don't know, like Spire from behind. Seems very unlikely, but it's always a possibility. And we do see Blue Flame on the production tab combined with 3 Hellions at a time. So this is just going to be like a massive Hellbed Marine push with Blue Flame. This is definitely going to be very strong here. Because if we look at the army supplies right now, it's 35 army supply here for GoOdy to the 10 supply of Namshar. So even with like godlike hits here, it's still going to be very hard for Namshar to hold on. He does have a transfuse available and the queen is about to die. He's so close and gets a great connection here on all the Marines, weakening them up. But the other spines are out of position. He's gonna... Oh, the Banelings finish up, so he might get another decent connection here. He's splitting his units and the spines do burrow down. Might be able to clean up the army here, but there's a good amount of DPS coming down, so he's gonna get at least 1 spine. The reinforcements do spawn now, but Lynx against Blue Flame Hellbats are not the greatest. He is going to clean up there. But now he kind of has too many army and too little eco once again. Very nice. Very well done there by Namshar. He needed that, definitely, to kind of get back into this game. And now GoOdy just has to pay very close attention to his Hellions. Just make sure he doesn't lose them to a group of Lynx, so he can establish his third base safely. I don't know, like, given how dead in the water Namshar was, he's definitely trying to climb back here. He even has a bit of creep spread coming out. He unfortunately lost his other queen that he could have used for creep spread, so the creep spread is only gonna head a single way right now, I guess. And getting more creep out against mech is... before it was super crucial, because you played super heavy Swarm Host and your Locust really benefited from the creep. So I guess nowadays it's a bit less important, but it's definitely still important. But yeah, he's gonna dart in here and oh my god, these Blue Flame Hellions just roasting away all the Zerglings. And all there is remaining right now is 4 roaches and he's just gonna go into Hellbat hero mode and more roaches do stream in here. And he's just trying to kite these Hellbats in every single direction, but now the Hellbats do get into the mineral line here. And he's gonna get the Queener as well, just limiting the ability for creep to come out. And oh my god, the queen survives, but look at this, the Hellbat gets on top of the drones, it's so close, and he does kill it off here. And look at this, GoOdy, just look at his natural, there's so much saturation right there. He needs to land his third base, or he's just gonna like mine out his main base and natural within a few minutes. So yeah, there we go, the third base being flown over. Just, there we go, the tanks are rolling out, he's putting them on the ledges, just keeping the high ground position, probably gonna take down the cooling tower at his own third base. And we're gonna see what Namshar... Oh, I think Namshar is gonna opt to go for roach drops here. We do see Ventral Sacks on the way and we already saw Overlord Speed. We see a ton of roaches coming out here. And he's just gonna try to drop these roaches on top of the tanks. Like, tanks are extremely strong with their splash if you like have clumped up units and they come from a single position. But if they come from above, the splash is completely nullified, and there's only 2 Thors and a few Hellbats here to assist, so we're gonna see how this is gonna go. It's currently 80 army supply for Namshar here. Of course, 20 army supply that is still in production and streaming across the map, and there's 61 army supply here for GoOdy, of course, a part still being in production. But GoOdy has such a great defensive setup. There we go, the cooling tower is coming down here. And oh my god, this setup, turrets, another CC, tanks, Thors. This is going to be very hard. And Namshar is just going to opt to go for the multi-prong drop here. Maybe drop some extra in the main here. But GoOdy already has turrets in position to deal with Overlord coming in. His army is definitely out of position though, so Namshar might be able to do some damage here. But at the same time, the Hellions run into the third base here, roasting away all the drones. So many drones just falling there. 20 drones already like falling this game. Just putting on the hurt. The roach drop in the main meanwhile has arrived, and all there are there to greet these roaches are a ton of Hellions. You might morph them into Hellbat mode, but at the same time they're in the natural. More Hellbats and tanks being sent there. Nothing in the third base right now, but pure Hellion in this mode doesn't trade too effectively against pure roach unless they're super clumped up. So yeah, there we go. The roaches are dangerously low, but they're taking out all the Hellions here with a full frontal bust as well. He's gonna try to dive on top of the tank, but look at the splash damage being done by all these tanks from every single angle. And Namshar still has a ton of units in production. Perhaps if he would have had drones in production there, he would have been in a behind but okay spot. But right now he's just gonna end up with 20 roaches that almost have no purpose of getting anything done. There was no Burrow with this as well, or Nidus, so his reinforcements are going to take a while to get there, are not going to spawn in the most greatest of positions anyway. But he's just going to try. Namshar knows like, oh, I'm behind, there's almost nothing I can do here. And he's just going to keep dropping. The Thors identifying that there are Overlords, a few roaches on the ground as well. He's just going to try to drop them on top of the tanks here and self-splashing. The tanks just killing him themselves, basically, with the roaches being dropped on top of them. But he's also losing the Overlords here. He has 190 supply worth of Overlords, so that's going to be perfectly fine. I feel so bad for Namshar. He's trying to transition out now, but he was so far behind after the early game. Just transitioning out at this point, given how many mech units GoOdy is just going to have here in a bit and push out with, it's going to be an incredibly hard game. More Hellions heading into the third base here, just barbecuing these drones. He's just having a field day. I think GoOdy knows. Like, he's just like, oh well, every kill I get is good, and every Hellion I trade away is worth it. More and more drones going down. He's being super annoying, just microing this Hellion very well, getting an extra shot off. Let's see how many additional workers did he kill there. Additional 11 workers did go down there. And GoOdy is just in a fantastic position. I think he's just going to build like a few more depots. Oh, he's already going to go for it. I was about to say, like, he's just going to ramp up all his units and he's going to push out. He identified how few roaches there are remaining here by Namshar. And this is definitely looking very grim here. Basically tripling his opponent in army supply, equal in worker supply, but that kind of tells the tale. Namshar trying to establish a fourth base on the right side here, where his creep is, but his creep gets taken out, his fourth base is getting taken out, but I think GoOdy is just going to go for the juggler here and just go straight for it. Into the third base, into the production. Nothing is going to be remaining at this point. More and more workers are getting killed here. Hellions even doing alright against these Hydras without support. And GoOdy is just pushing in here. And I think Namshar knows. He's still going to try though, but it's going to be too late.
Congratulations to GoOdy. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, that was it for the final qualifier of DSL Open 2015. Congratulations to GoOdy, to Namshar, and to Strintern for qualifying today. And unfortunately, I'm keeping my wonderful girlfriend awake, so I'm going to round off the stream real quick. There's not going to be a winner interview, but perhaps we'll get to speak to GoOdy later on as he goes through the group stages. Keep an eye on the website tomorrow, because the groups for the group stages will be announced, well, probably not tomorrow, but very soon anyway. The players will get their emails. Keep an eye on the website tomorrow, because we will announce the location for the finals, which I have spoiled already is the Melkweg in Amsterdam. The finals are going to be there on June 20th and 21st, so I hope to see you all in Amsterdam, and tune in at the start of June, because that's when the group stages for the DSL Open will be played online. And of course we'll broadcast all of those as well. So thank you very much to HyperX, to Cooler Master, and to all the people watching. And finally, of course, thank you very much, Shors, for casting with me all night and for solo casting these final grand finals.
Yeah, it was a good 6 hours.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, thank you very much, guys. See you guys next time, start of June.
So yeah. Is it off?